watching Fox Sports. Tonight, live on Fox Sports, in a special edition of Super League, the Canberra Raiders try to continue their resurgence against the shell-shocked Perth Reds. The Reds couldn't take a trick last week, and everything their opponents touched turned to tries.
They keep it alive, it's poaching, puts it up, oh, what a try!
The Reds are down, but looking to rebound.
It's a test of character, I guess, this week, mate, to see how we aim up. And we've been in this situation before, and, you know, we'll get another bum smacking this week if we don't.
Back-to-back wins have revived Canberra's confidence, but coach Mal Meninga is wary of former Raider Dean Lance and his Reds.
The next Raiders player and lower grade coach, he'll let them fight up for us for sure.
Can Lance put the fire back into the Reds, or will the Raiders show their contenders for the semis? You can find out right here, right now, on the station that gives you more live line breaks for your loot.
Fritz on the inside to Kearns.
Fox Sports 2.
Welcome to Bruce Stadium in Canberra, and the nation's capital has turned on a fine but cold night as round 9 action continues in Super League's Telstra Cup. Hello everyone, I'm Greg Clark. Thanks for joining us. Well, it really is an important one tonight for both these teams, because if they can pull off a win, they could overtake Adelaide and move into the top 5. Let's have a look at how the competition ladder shapes up with 2 matches still to be played this round. Brisbane are hosting Canterbury tonight, but the all-important one here in the capital is the Raiders up against the Reds, and whoever wins that one should be able to overtake Adelaide and move into that top division. Well, joining us now on Fox Sports is former Kiwi international and captain Gary Freeman. And Gary, both of these teams have suffered some serious injuries.
Yeah, 2 major injuries to the Canberra side, and Ferner and DeVico out of the side, and of course Clyde, who's out through suspension. And the Western Reds will have lost Wilson, and of course Rodney Howe, who's out, could be out for a lot longer than they actually think. He goes to the doctor tomorrow.
Okay, well, what about favouritism? I know the Raiders started as favourites earlier in the week, but this has evened things up a little bit, these injuries.
It certainly has. A lot of young guys are going to come into the Canberra side, and the same with the Red side too. Dean Lance up against Mal Meninga. I think they'd rather be out there playing those two, but then coaching the side today. But I'm going to go with Canberra to win here.
Okay, well, stay with us on Fox Sports, because the teams are about to take to Bruce Stadium. And the stadium looks in great shape tonight. Perfect conditions for 2 teams that like to attack. And the Raiders certainly on a bit of a roll at the moment, as the fans pretty much rugged up tonight, Gary Freeman. The big chill has hit the capital.
It's certainly a little bit cold out there tonight, but it won't be that cold once the 2 sides do get out there and do battle. See Mel there just walking around as players, trying to talk to them.
And the Reds are the first out, led out by their halfback, Rodwell. No Rodney Howe or Scott Wilson. They've won 4 and lost 4, coming off their worst performance of the year, the 20-point loss to Hunter. Away from home, they've won 2 from 4. They average about 3 tries a match, conceding 3 as well. And they won't be used to the cold conditions here tonight. The lineup: O'Neill backing up from the test match at fullback, Fleming and Edgar, Bell, Miller, Horan and Rodwell. In the front row, Kearns. A lot will be on his shoulders tonight. Chapman, Green promoted from the bench into the front row in place of Howe, Lewis, Shields and Fritz. And the coach is Dean Lance, who was at the Raiders club for about 13 years. And the last few years he's been the reserve grade coach before moving over to Perth. Number 50. Chapman, the hooker, but a specialist halfback, and he's been in great form, one of the game breakers in the Perth Reds. 24 first grade teams. Keep an eye on him tonight. And in this modern era, Gary Freeman, a halfback can certainly move into hooker with no problems.
Yeah, certainly can. He can. He's very, very quick around the ruck area, and that's a big thing of his game, that he'll get in and dart out a dummy half and try and make those extra yards for the forwards if they are doing it tough their own 25.
Julian O'Neill off the bench for Australia in the Anzac Day test on Friday night. He was in a little bit of doubt coming into this match, but without Rodney Howe leading the way up front, they certainly could not afford to be without Julian O'Neill directing the traffic at the back. The Canberra Raiders. Ricky Stewart getting back to his best just in time for New South Wales selection, maybe. That won't be on his mind tonight. He'll just be hoping that the Raiders can win 3 in a row for the very first time. They've had recent wins over Penrith and North Queensland. 3 from 8 so far in 97. 1-2 lost 2 at home. They average about 4 tries a match and they concede about 4 as well, so they'll have to pick up on their defence. But no Clyde, no DeVico, no David Furner, but 4 test men backing up after the Anzac Day International. Daggers and Daly from the Australian camp, Wiki and Pongia from the Kiwi camp. A familiar look about that back line. Look for 22, Lightning, to make a big impression. He's only 18 years of age, and Lightning by name and by nature, let me tell you. In the front row, it's a rearranged pack. Peyton only 18 years of age, in fact, number 19. Pritis, Pongia from the Kiwi camp. The back 3, Kennedy, Wesley and Burnham, promoted from the bench in place of Clyde, who's on suspension. And the coach, Mel Meninga, this man here, Ben Kennedy. Well, he scored a hat-trick a fortnight ago, and he's the leading try scorer for the Canberra team. 7 tries, and that's only 1 behind Matthew Ryan, who is leading the competition. The second rower, 23 years of age. And without Furner and without Clyde, look for a big one from him tonight. Now we pause for a period of silence in memory of those who lost their lives in the Port Arthur tragedy a year ago today.
Thanks, everyone.
It's been a long weekend of remembrance. Friday it was Gallipoli, today Port Arthur. Fine gesture by the Canberra Raiders club and also the fans who have turned up tonight. The fireworks in the background signalling that we're just about set. Steve Clark is the referee. The video ref is Jack Danzy. We're underway at Bruce Stadium on Fox Sports. And it's the Perth Reds with the first touch of the ball. Robbie Kearns will have a lot of extra pressure on him tonight, Gary, with no Rodney Howe.
Yeah, certainly Kearns will really have to work his little legs off tonight to go forward for the Reds. But Shields also has had a lot on his plate too. He'll have to try and get them going forward himself.
So it is the Reds. Confident start, some good hit-ups. They're only 10 from halfway as Peter Shields, the former Penrith Panther, plays it. Just working it one off the ruck. To the short side. Chapman losing his footing. And this is Lightning, his first touch. Started in the Canberra lineup for the first time against Penrith and scored a try. Now it's Daly. Nagus is up from fullback. About 10 from halfway. Pritis at dummy half. Kennedy. Taken by Rodwell. Ball and all and a good tackle.
I think what you'll see is Canberra try and go wide on the Reds very early. They're playing up and in defence, not like all the other sides that play that slide.
Daly, good ball out to Wiki, gets the Fen going, but he's taken ball and all. The good tackle from Edgar. Now it's Stewart. Finding plenty of open spaces back there, and there's a real chase on here. Mullins keeping it on the toe, but he put too much weight on the kick. And there was half a chance there as Mullins came storming through, blistering speed. But he just couldn't control the kick. Let's have another look at it.
Yeah, great kick there by Stewart, of course, but getting just outpaced as Julian O'Neill on the right-hand side. The winger there just getting in the wrong position. Just touches the ball a little bit too hard. Lucky for the Reds, otherwise I think it would have been 4 points on the board.
0-0 the score. And it's the Reds running it out now. About 32 out from their own line as Brett Green plays it. From dummy half, it's Chapman. Shields, taken by Pongia, but he got the pass away. And this is Paul Bell, the centre, almost to halfway. Rodwell, the skipper, Place it back to Chapman. Back to O'Neill. So it's pretty much mistake-free football at the moment, and O'Neill hits the corner flag, so that's into touch in goal. Unlucky bounce there for O'Neill. Canberra will bring it back to the 20-metre mark for the restart.
I think with their kicking game in the Reds there, Julian O'Neill puts it down the right-hand side of the field, but all the other players are offside, so they've got to give the player 10 metres to run. He's better off going to the line and putting the ball in the air.
Prittis looking for the runners. And they've lost the ball, Canberra. So their first mistake of the night, and coming away with it is Jared Miller. Miller, homegrown talent, only the second Perth lad to play for the Reds. The rest have been imports. Cameron Lewis. To the short side they go. And Paul Bell can't find a way through. Taken by Burnham. Still working that short side. They obviously fancy their chances down there, Gary, and they keep it alive. Back to Chapman. Back to Lewis. Lewis throws the dummy. Straightens it up. Look to offload. There was no one on his hip. Chance here for the Perth Reds. The inside pass to Green. Green taken.
They come left there. Wesley's injured. He's been walking around for the last couple of tackles.
Shields, switch of play, back to O'Neill. O'Neill trying to get the fend going, but he's been taken by Prittis right in front of the uprights on the final tackle. What will they do here? Robble puts it on the toe, and Nagus picks it up and cleanly as well. And he makes a couple of metres. He'll play it about 8 metres out.
A little bit disappointing there with the kick. The chasers again once in front of the kicker. Got to give that bloke 10 metres of running.
Pongia, good strong run. Probably the pick of the Kiwi forwards on Friday night at the International, Quentin Pongia. This is Todd Payton, who played in the Under-19 International, the curtain raiser at the Sydney Football Stadium.
Well, you have one winner, one loser there, don't you? The Under-19s come away with a loss, but the major upset, of course, is New Zealand losing. But I thought Quentin, like you said, was probably the outstanding player in that Kiwi loss. Sounds funny.
Here's a great bounce for Lightning over the far side, and it's going to be a try, the first one of the match. Well, Ruben Wiki will never score an easier try. Ricky Stewart, minutes ago, almost laid on a kick-chase try for Mullins. This time, he got the perfect bounce for Royston Lightning. Lightning drew the defence in and threw it inside to Ruben Wiki. So what a start by Canberra. They lead by 4 points to 0. What a bounce.
Yeah, well, what you see there is the wingers up flat, and then Royston Lightning's got an open field runner, but it's just a lucky bounce. He caught it in time, and this draws Julian O'Neill. It's just a straight run to the try line for Wiki. Isn't Royston Lightning happy about that one, putting his arms up? Go, son, go. Very happy.
Yeah, another look at Stewart. Well, we all know how good his kicking game is. Doesn't get much better than this, but what about the pace of Lightning? Out-sprinted the opposition. O'Neill really was in no man's land. He had 2 to try and tackle. Lightning did a great job drawing O'Neill, and Ruben Wiki untouched. But more importantly, under the black dot. I say more importantly because David Furner isn't out there, the first choice kicker. 2 tries for Wiki in 97. So Royston Lightning takes over the kicking duty. He kicked one a couple of weeks ago against Penrith.
He's got a good record then.
No problem from right in front. He keeps his 100% record intact. 2 from 2 for Lightning. And it's 6 points to 0. The Raiders over the Reds.
Should put the Reds in 2 minds in their defence, whether that winger will stay up now. We'll give Stewart and Daly opportunity to throw the ball out wide if he does hang back.
Play on. It came off the legs. Chapman from dummy half. Taken by Burnham and also Kennedy. This time it's Lewis at dummy half. Out to the big front row, Robbie Kearns. Now it's Green, former Brisbane Bronco. Shields throwing the dummy. They didn't fall for it. Daly over the top, Mullins underneath. Penalty. And it goes against the Reds.
Yeah, tackle back in, let forward. All you have to do is get up and play the ball on the mark. Trying to milk the penalty, he's not going to get it that way.
Well, it didn't come off for the Reds. He did not play the ball on the mark. Tried to sneak another metre or 2, milking the penalty, and it went against him. So the first penalty of the match goes to Canberra. Boyle with the tap. Another penalty.
Go, fellas.
A basic error. The Perth Reds inside the 10.
Back with him, fellas.
I don't think Dean Lance, the coach, will be very happy with that. Set of 6, 2 penalties in a row.
And now it's the Canberra Raiders who lead by 6 points to 0 with another golden opportunity. Stewart and Daly will look to work a bit of magic. It's Stewart now with the ball. Out it goes to Daly. Long passes. Kennedy standing wide, wrapped up ball and all. That's the only way to take him. Good tackle by Bell. The inside pass to Pongia. Inside the Perth red zone. Daly throws the dummy. There's no way through there. Prentice waits for it at dummy half. Stewart slow to his feet. Boyle. Plenty of Reds defenders in there. The kick and chase by Daly, but it was picked up by a very confident Julian O'Neill. So nothing came of that onslaught.
I thought Laurie probably should have just gone down the ball. It wasn't knocked forward. They could have had another couple of tackles up their sleeve.
Chapman at dummy half. Kearns. This is Shields. Rangy back rower. Penalty.
Let him go.
Holding the player. The referee obviously called held. The player tried to play it, but he was being held on to.
Well, I think the referee said play the ball and they went on with the tackle. He just dropped the ball cold, I thought.
Wait with him, wait with him.
Kearns. This is Lewis. Oh, big defence there from Pongia. Lewis bounced out of that one, but did the next best thing. He got the pass away to keep it alive, and this is Bell out wide. Paul Bell, the centre. Couple of metres inside Canberra territory.
10 metres. 17.
Well, he's pretty hot on the 10 metres tonight, Stephen Clark.
Standing wide of the ruck too is Stephen Clark, so he gets a good view of the whole field. They're looking to the left-hand side of the Canberra defence. They're just trying to creep an extra couple of metres.
Touch Judge Canberra with him and wait.
So now it's an opportunity for the Perth Reds to put first points on the board and hit back. This is Green. Pongia came over the top and another solid tackle. Lewis. Only a couple of metres out. Chapman at dummy half. Rodwell, they switch it back to Chapman. Runners coming in on the angle. Couldn't pierce the defence though. Again, it's Chapman, Rodwell, Lewis. Taken again. They're not finding holes around the ruck. Maybe they should go wide, but it's Rodwell throwing the dummy and almost through. The Raiders just holding on. Final tackle. Kicking from dummy half. It's on the ground in goal. And it is Stewart that has to take the tackle.
Line drop out, fellas.
So the Perth Reds will get another crack at them. Another set of 6. Ricky Stewart back there to clean up for the Raiders.
Yeah, did a good job there, Ricky Stewart. You see him, he's up in the line in defence, picks it up with one hand. Pretty hard to get out of there when you've got all those guys coming in, Kearns and of course Chapman.
6-0. 28 and a half to go. Daly with the restart. Gets a good bounce too. Almost 60 metres. Eamon Edgar. Taken. 36 in there. That's David Atkins who's on there. Now this is Brett Green. And now Shields. Picking up some easy metres, Shields, before he was taken by Prentice. Fritz back to Green. The inside pass not working at the moment for the Reds. Double rounds, another inside pass, and this time it's Kearns charging onto it.
All the way.
Working the moves, and they're only 5 metres out. Rodwell. Out the back door, not a great pass. Rodwell will have to clean up, and the bomber's not a good one. He was under all sorts of pressure, went straight up in the air, caught it, and they keep it alive. O'Neill is up there. Now he has a crack at them. This is a better one. Boyle is under a bit of pressure. In the end, it goes into touch, but it's a penalty to Canberra. Well, Stephen Clark indicated that the Perth players had pushed Boyle into touch after he was effectively tackled.
It would have been interesting if
or did they take him out?
I'm not too sure. I thought Fleming's trying to go for the ball, and he's pushed him out of the road. He's just come over the top.
No, pushing into touch, I think, would have been the call.
It would have been interesting if he'd penalised him if no one had touched him. A voluntary tackle.
Yes, that's been in the news a bit lately. Ruben Wiki, the try scorer, can't get away from Bell. Lewis also in there as well. Lightning at dummy half. Nagus hasn't had too many attacking opportunities so far in the match. And that is good news for the Perth Reds, because Ken Nagus in full flight is going to be a worrying sight for them. Time at 8.5. Canberra 55% down at their own end. This is a good run from Priddis. Caught them napping, and almost to the 40-metre mark he goes. Burnham waits for the dummy half. To the short side, it's Stewart. Looking for the touchline. Stays in the field of play. O'Neill beat one, but he can't get away from Burnham. Also Boyle. Now it's Fleming.
Too early.
Stephen Clark has got the Raiders for being inside the 10 again.
Well, just trying to rush up too quickly. I think they should just try and stay right behind the referee. The Stewart going off the field. I think when he got that ball behind the goalpost, that's where he hurt his knee.
Both teams are really going to have to settle down here. They've given away 6 penalties in total in 15 minutes. Now, this is a good run from Green. So the Raiders without Ricky Stewart for a while. Let's hope it's not a serious injury to that right knee. Lewis out wide. See it quite often now, a back rower standing wide on attack. This is Timmy Horan, 5'8" tonight in place of Scott Wilson, who's still out injured. They're 10 out from the line and down by 6, the Reds. Over on the far side, Bell can't find a way through. He ran into one of the best defensive centres in the game, Ruben Wiki. Rodwell kicking across. Boyle waits for it. Came off a Reds play. It's been picked up by Mullins, and he's into touch. So the scrum will pack down. For a moment, it looked like Mullins may have been able to turn something special out of that.
It would have been interesting if he got away here. You see Rodwell going right across the other side of the field. Both players get hold of it. It just bounces up, and Mullins, I think, could have been away. A little bit unlucky there. Puts the Reds back into attack now.
Robbie Kearns off to the blood bin.
Reds loose.
So the Reds ready for another onslaught. The inside pass to Fritz was taken by Kennedy, who did well to break from the scrum. Wide they go. Horan. O'Neill up into the line, and Julian O'Neill's going to get the reply. Great work, the Perth Reds. O'Neill punched into the back line and scored the try. 6 points to 4 with the kick to come.
Yeah, I think the first time they've actually used their backs, the Reds, and they've come up with a try to O'Neill. Good quick passing here. They run a dummy player through. Just the player go through just outside of there. Good little right foot step. Just haven't got enough time to get to him, Wiki, and of course Royston Lightning. I think
Nagus was the man that raced up out of the line.
That situation, you've got to make up your mind what to do, and I think Nagus decided that he was going to try and take him front on. So just got to the left-hand side of him, and O'Neill's got a good right foot step and got around him. I think Edgar would have been happy because it would have been the first time he's actually touched the ball in the game.
And Julian O'Neill with that try brings up his half century at 97, so that's his 6th try. Stewart. He's getting some strapping applied to that right knee. He wouldn't be too happy with his kicking stat for 97. It's 54%. He's about 5 in from the far touch. Struck it pretty well, but it's away across the front of the goalpost in the end, so no goal. But they're on the board. 2-point ball game, 6 points to 4 as we have another look at it, Gary, and the backs working well for the Reds.
You see, just throwing that little dummy, and it's a play that a couple of other teams do use. It takes out a couple of defenders straight away. But interesting note with Ricky Stewart on the sideline, he's getting his good knee strapped. His left knee is the one that he's had a lot of problems with. He's getting his right one strapped.
What are you trying to say? Be balanced now.
I don't think he'd be happy with either of them strapped, actually.
So Atkins plays it. Burnham, Kennedy. 3 Reds defenders in there. Stop the big second rower. What a night for this man, David Atkins, only 19 years of age, making his first grade debut. It's not a bad kick. Rolls into touch. Well, Greg Fleming couldn't do much about that one, could he?
I think he'd best just let the ball go over the side there. We'll get the scrum and the feed. And they'll have to try and get out of their own red zone. Laurie Daly here putting the right foot onto it. A great kick across the field, just beats all the players once again. You'll make up your mind on the wing whether you get the 0 tackle or not. Made the right decision there.
Simon Wolford is on there at number 9, waiting for Ricky Stewart to get back out onto the field after receiving some attention to his right knee. Wesley is on there. Oh, big defence there again from Quentin Pongia. He's been superb tonight on defence, launching himself.
Yeah, Timmy Oren getting through a couple of tackles with Quentin Pongia. Big don't argue. There's no more. You can't go any further now, son.
So the Reds, about 9 metres inside Canberra territory now. Peter Trevitt is on there for the Reds in 25. A real mix-up there. The Raiders come away with it. Prittis dived on it. Oh, that was a sort of a bit of a dodgy pass from Pongia. Let's have a look at this. He had his legs taken from under him.
A little bit unlucky there as Rodwell trying to get that kick away, but Prittis just touching the right foot as he went to kick it. And then Ben Kennedy coming up with a mistake out wide from the Canberra side.
Well, it was not a great pass. Pongia sensed there was something on. He threw it out there on the first tackle. And Kennedy had a couple of defenders around him. So the Reds will get the ball back from this scrum. Rodwell puts it in, takes it out. Horan can't get away from Daly. Daly dragging him down from behind. A bit of assistance coming in from Atkins. Bell picks up 10 metres and puts the Reds in pretty good field position again. Down by 2. The Raiders lead 6 points to 4. Chapman got a pass away to Bell. There was half a chance there, but Bell went without it. So now the Raiders have it.
All the Raiders really just standing around. I think the forwards have got to start taking some control and go forward for them.
Well, here's one of them. Holding down at the tackle.
Too long.
Relieving penalty to the Raiders.
And once again, Stephen Clark really clamping down on this holding down. Hand on the ball, slowing the game up. They want to speed this game up. I don't know how fast this game can get going, though.
Simon Wolford with the tap. Got it back to Wesley. The Papua New Guinea international. Stewart is back out there. He finds Kennedy out wide. He runs into Fritz, and also in there was Shields. Daly. Got Payton on there. Kennedy got under a high one. Nagus taken from behind. Now it's Stewart. Daly, short ball. Picks up Wesley. They've got numbers out wide. Ruben Wiki needs to straighten it up and link up with Lightning out wide. There was a chance there. They cut back in field when they had numbers and overlap on the far side. But now there's open spaces, and this will be the try. Brett Mullins, a double last week. He's on the score sheet tonight. Well, if they don't do it on one side, they'll do it on the other. 10 points to 4. It is the Raiders over the Reds.
Once again, Daly kicking the ball over the outside. As we said before, you play this up and in defence, you're going to pay for it out wide, especially with this kicking game. I think their fullback and Juliania's got to start covering a little bit better, try and help their poor wingers out. Mullins does a great job here. He makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
Brett Mullins, his third try in '97, inaugural year of the Australasian Super League. Smile on the dial, playing himself into form. I wonder if he's going to play himself into that New South Wales Tri-Series team. He will be named in the next week or two.
Be interesting to see what position, or whose position he'll take then. Because Timmy Brash, I thought, played pretty good.
Ken Nagus playing fullback for the Canberra Raiders, keeping Mullins out of the fullback position. So Royston Lightning. 9 in from touch. Not a bad attempt. It's a beauty. He sends it down the middle. 2 converted tries. Lightning must think his first grade's okay. He scored a try in his debut a couple of weeks ago, and he's kicking goals. And I think the Perth Reds have really got to watch that kicking game. On a couple of occasions they've been caught out wide, but nobody home.
Well, every try so far they've scored, it's really been from that little kick put over the back. As we said, and we keep saying, we're playing that up and in defence. Leaves a poor winger in 2 minds, whether he stays back or goes up. And if you go up, they put a little kick out and they resulted in 2 quick tries.
So the restart by the Raiders. Still 14.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Edgar, Parramatta Junior, made his grade debut with the Perth Reds. Chapman got the pass away to the interchange player Peter Trevitt. In the end it was Chapman that played it. Shields, inside pass again. Corin, taken by Wesley. Meter inside Canberra territory. Rodwell. Over the top. Lightning being sent back. It's going to beat him though. And it's into touch. So we'll have the scrum to pack down about 10 metres out from the Canberra line and 20 metres in from touch.
Just watching Ricky Stewart walk into the scrum after the kick goes in from Rodwell. Doesn't look too good. Right leg of his and left leg. I don't know if he'll take too much more part of this game, that's for sure.
You can see 17 running on there as well, Luke Prittis. Wolford will pack down Hooker and Prittis goes into lock. Both teams suffering injuries prior to this match. Nagus. Daly leading to the referee for a quick play of the ball. Pongia. Possession favouring Perth, 56%. As Wesley takes them on. Time in their own half. Canberra, they may be leading on the score sheet, but they're doing it tough, spending more time in their own half than the Perth Reds. O'Neill just losing his footing there. Fleming a dummy half. finds Edgar.
The Reds have got to spread the ball a little bit early, I think. They're just trying to take him up the middle of the ruck. On their right-hand side, and they get Canberra on the short side, that's for sure.
Rodwell, Shields. Can't get the pass away. Now it's Kearns. Did well to get it back to Chapman. Pops one over the top. Trevitt. Eventually the movement was shut down. 35 out from the Raiders line. Rodwell. Shields. Good dummy from Peter Shields. That pass has gone forward. Tried to keep it alive, Peter Shields, after making the initial break. Didn't come off for the Reds, and so the scrum will pack down. 15 out from the Raiders line.
Throws the big dummy there. The ball doesn't really take anybody. Still trying to get the ball away is Shields. Backing up there by Fritz, but the ball goes forward. That's where they've got to try and get Canberra's on that short side.
Stewart feeds and takes it out. Now it's Wiki. Scored the opening try. Kennedy. Plenty of Reds defenders to stop him in his tracks. The inside pass was left behind by Nagus, and the Reds have it. So another mistake. Unforced error by the Raiders. The Reds, will they make them pay for it? Fleming manages to stay in the field of play. Shields out the back door. Chapman, Rodwell. Fritz. That's the 20-metre mark. Trevitt. Straight ahead. Well, they're popping these passes out the back door willy-nilly. If you're going to do it all night, that's what's going to happen. The opposition are going to end up with it.
Trevitt did a great job in going forward, but again, there's a lack of backup through a silly pass.
Wiki driven back in the tackle. Fritz and also Kearns. Well, Canberra have had to make 111 tackles compared to Perth's 74. So Perth have had plenty of opportunities and missed tackles. Canberra have fallen off 7 compared to the Reds 4. But the... Oh, intercept! Jared Miller in under the black dot. 12-4 becomes 12-8 with a kick to come. Well, you won't see that all that often. Ricky Stewart floating a pass out, giving the opposition a chance at an intercept.
He really set himself to Jared Miller, that's for sure. Out wide here, and Ricky Stewart going to the line. He just stopped and said, see, I'm going for the ball. Nothing's going to stop me. Nagus tried desperately to try and stop him. Just couldn't do it. He picked that out well, that young kid.
Yes, Jared Miller, we mentioned earlier on, only the second local lad from the Perth region to play first grade for the Reds. The other was John Grieve. He spotted it coming, and there was no stopping him from there. Jared Miller, you little beauty, he says. Under the black dot.
I think his coach is saying, you little beauty, that's for sure. 12-8.
And it will be Julian O'Neill trying to add the extra 2 from right in front.
Well, Greg, it's coming down to Canberra just making too many mistakes in their own half, and resulting they've got to make more tackles again. I think Melbourne will be very happy with that. Ball control.
There it is, right down the middle. 12 points to 10. Well, the Perth side probably reckon they deserve to be there with the amount of possession and field position they've had. 2 tries apiece, but a lucky one there to Jared Miller. Well, they all count.
The luck really wasn't with Miller. I think he just put himself in a great position to take the ball.
Now it's Pongia. Nagus. Daly, the short pass, finds Atkins. Kennedy. Switch of play. Daly. Daly with the kick this time. A big downtowner. It's going to stop in the in-goal area. O'Neill has time to get out of there and offload. Fleming picks up another 10 or 15 metres. It's good work by O'Neill and also Greg Fleming.
Fleming put himself in a great position there to receive the ball off Neil. Just put himself outside the opposition winger. Made an easy 20 metres.
Chapman, the inside pass. Good strong running. That's Darren Higgins on from the interchange bench, and the penalty goes to the Reds.
Simon Walford, you let the legs go. Too long. He can't get to his feet when you've got a hold of his legs. If you let go of his legs, he won't kick you.
He's trying to get up pretty quick. Gives away the penalty. Once again, Canberra just making mistakes that we don't usually see them make.
Horan out wide to Rodwell, the inside pass. Walford read it pretty well though. Fritz plays it. Chapman, he's had a busy game at dummy half. Fritz now to Green. Brett Green taken. Daly over the top. The short side, Rodwell, the inside pass. They're persisting with that. Shields got it out the back door again. That's good work, Horan. They keep it alive. Kearns straightening it up. Comes to Nagus. Nagus wraps him up, ball and all. Still working over to the right, and Shields is only about 1 metre out from the line. The Reds with a golden opportunity to hit the front here. Now they kick for the corner. Boyle over there. Fleming takes it, and Boyle is right onto him, but he gives it away to Mullins, and Mullins has it for Canberra. 9 out from his own line.
The Reds should have gone to the right-hand side of the field there. Royston Lightning was there by himself. Could have come up with 4 points.
Daly gets the pass out. David Boyle plays it. Penalty.
Yeah.
Well, this time it's the Reds who are inside the 10. When are they going to learn?
I'm back there well before them, and they got all the opportunity to see me.
Dean Lance, former Canberra Raider player and reserve grade coach, now in charge of the Reds. Timmy Sheens came here last week and went away empty-handed. Former Raiders coach now with the North Queensland Cowboys, so I wonder what the story will be for Dean Lance with his homecoming.
As Mel would say, hopefully not a happy one.
Burnham. Good tackle by Higgins. Metre or so inside the Reds territory. Pritis picks up some handy metres from dummy half. Now it's Daly. Mullins puts the foot on the gas, the inside pass, a speculator, and Kennedy came up with it. Last line of defence dragged him down. Daly. Now they're kicking. Bit of pressure on Edgar. Who's got it? It's in the air. It's taken by Bell. And it's going to be a restart from the goal mouth, not from the 20-metre mark. So there was obviously a knock-on in there.
Yeah, once again, all the pressure is coming from Daly's and his kicking game along with Stewart. Puts the ball up nice and high. As you've seen, Edgar's dropped back early. Mr. Lightning, there was Wiki in there. Great save there by Bell to keep the Reds, stop the Canberra side from scoring. Just trying to slow the game down a little bit, but the referee's taking note and stop the clock.
2 points in it. 12 points to 10. The Raiders over the Reds. Raiders with some problems. Started the match without Ferner and also DeVico. Ricky Stewart is not well. Has a crook right knee. Now this is Wesley. Taken by Higgins. Higgins, a veteran of the Perth team at 31 years of age. Now it's Burnham. Time running out for the Raiders if they want to get some extra points in this half, but Nagus chimes in well from fullback. Bell holds on. Right in front of the uprights, about 19 metres out. That's where Wesley will play it. Wolford, the inside pass. Back it goes. Now it's Daly. He's going for a 1-pointer. It's there. Under no real pressure. Laurie says, I'll take one, getting close to half-time. So it's 13 points to 10 now. Canberra over Perth.
Laurie Daly taking the 1 point here. The thing is that they don't get the ball back. They'll have to tackle for another set of 6 tackles. And I think the Perth side just starting to, I think, get on top of their forwards, or the Canberra forwards. That's in that area. And around the ruck area, Damien Chapman doing a great job. Along with Prudis, they're all making plenty of yards around the middle.
Yet another kickoff by the Raiders. Edgar. Taken by Kennedy. Payton there as well. Kearns. The hit-up merchant, especially now that Rodney Howe is on the injured list. I believe he has some ultrasound work being done on his injury from the Anzac Day test tomorrow. And that will decide just how long he is out for. The kick by Horan. Stabbed it into the ground. The grubber kick finding touch. 30 out from the Canberra line. So the Raiders will get the feed into the scrum, and they'll get the last crack at anything in the first half. As the seconds tick away.
I don't think they're in too much of a hurry. Both sides trying to get to the scrum. Well, that's the slowest walk I've seen any pack of forwards ever do in my life. You can hear the crowd. Please get there.
Stewart is still off the field, and it is Wolford that feeds the scrum. Nagus up from fullback, got it out to Boyle. Boyle couldn't handle it. How long will it take to pack this scrum down as they play the knock-on? Into the second game back from injury for David Boyle.
And Nagus just trying to pop the ball up there for Doyle, but Boyle, I should say, is again making mistakes. The Canberra side, Mel won't be happy.
So it is Perth. Horan with the kick. Bell with the chase. Daly's going to get back there first and throw it over the dead ball line. So that is it for the first half here at Bruce Stadium in Canberra. 2 tries apiece, 1 to Wiki, 1 to Mullins for Canberra. Lightning has kicked 2 conversions. A drop goal by Daly bringing up the 13 points. For the Reds, a try to O'Neill and Miller. O'Neill 1 conversion. Mel Meninga will have plenty to talk about at half-time because his side, Gary, as you keep mentioning, have made uncharacteristic mistakes.
Well, it's something that they made in the first 4 games. And, you know, they've turned it around in the last couple of weeks and come away with some vital points to get them back in contention or making the top 5. But in today's performance, you know, they are not enthusiastic, that's for sure.
Kennedy hasn't seen too many attacking opportunities tonight.
Well, I don't think they've really been out of their half that much either, the Canberra side. They're just sort of waiting for someone to do something. The loss of Ricky Stewart in his kicking game, that could be vital in this next 40 minutes.
Yes, the big question will be, will we see Ricky Stewart in the second half? That's probably why they weren't rushing to the scrum, saving their energy to walk up those steps, Gary.
Both coaches will have plenty to say to their forward packs.
Not much talking going on the way into the dressing rooms, but no doubt Mel Meninga will be issuing the instructions at half-time to try and erase those mistakes. So, at half-time here, as we prepare to take a short break before coming back to have a look at the first half highlights, it is the home team in front, but only just. It's Canberra 13, Perth 10.
Tuesday on the Super League. Brisbane versus Canterbury. The Broncos slipped up for the first time against the Panthers. They're looking to bounce back against a Canterbury side keen to take advantage and close the gap on league leaders Brisbane to stay in contention for the league title. The Super League, Brisbane versus Canterbury, Tuesday, 1 o'clock, Fox Sports.
That ball scorched. Balls it open here in the seventh. And there's a base hit into left field. Ripken gonna play at the plate. Hoyle's the tag. Not in time.
The Atlanta Braves clash with the Los Angeles Dodgers. US Major League Baseball. Wednesday, 9:30. Exclusive to Fox Sports.
Live Thursday morning, England play host to Georgia in the 1998 World Cup qualifiers. After losing at home to Italy in their last game, England lies second in Group 2 and must win if they're to stay in contention for a World Cup berth. The 1998 World Cup qualifiers, England versus Georgia, live Thursday morning, 4:45, Fox Sports.
Super 12s. Australia, New Zealand and South Africa head-to-head in the ultimate provincial rugby competition.
What a try!
The stage is set for an epic encounter. When New South Wales clash with Wellington, both teams must win to stay in the hunt for the semis. The Hurricanes and the Waratahs, Friday, 5:30 p.m, live and exclusive to Fox Sports.
The lights are on at Bruce Stadium in Canberra. The home team, not a convincing opening 40, but they are in front by 3 points, 13 points to 10. 4 tries in the first half here. And as the entertainment continues and the family members get there a little bit of action over on the far side, let's have a look at the try scoring. And the first one resulted after a good kick by Ricky Stewart. Have a look at Lightning over on the far side. Lightning by name, and he's got lightning in his veins, I tell you. He outsprinted all of them. In the end, he just had to draw Julian O'Neill inside to Ruben Wiki, and your fellow Kiwi, Ruben Wiki, will never score an easier try than that, Gary Freeman.
He'll be pretty happy with the try, that's for sure. Right underneath the black dot, as you said, and the call, Greg. But again, Ricky Stewart just seeing that they're up flat, getting the ball right across.
Now it's the Perth Reds, and they hit back pretty well. Julian O'Neill, champion fullback, into the line, punched into the line, had too much momentum and dragged a couple across. So they were on the board. As we have another look at it here, good backline move.
Yeah, good backline move. And Tim Horan comes through as a dummy runner, which put a couple of players, the Canberra players, in different minds, who to take, who not to take. Then allowed Julian O'Neill to step off of his right foot and go straight over.
Well, Canberra, I thought they should have scored on the other side, but Daly went to the right side and found a big hole with that kick, and Brett Mullen, surprise, surprise, was first there.
Well, both their tries coming from these kicks because, as we've said, the up and in defence, you've got to make up your mind as a winger whether you do go with the outside backs or you drop back. At that stage there, they decided to stay up, leaves them in a lot of trouble.
Stewart, the long pass, intercepted by Miller, and once he got past Nagus, he sort of got to Nagus, who was off balance. There was no stopping the youngster from there.
I think Nagus was really going to get the ball off Laurie Daly, a little short ball, and then he would have probably scored the other end of the field. Lays down there after scoring that try.
Well, the half-time statistics, 3 points in it, and Canberra have had to make 134 tackles. That's probably because of those errors down the bottom, and both sides guilty of giving away too many penalties in the first half. Canberra in their own half 60% of the time. Possession going Perth's way 54%. Missed tackles, Canberra falling off at 9 compared to Perth 6. So I guess Dean Lance won't be as unhappy with those statistics as Mel Meninga will be. So that's the story of the first half, and one of the big stories prior to the game here at Canberra tonight was whether or not the international David Ferner would take his place in the team. Well, David Ferner now joins us sideline on Fox Sports. And David, how close were you to playing?
Well, I obviously thought I was going to be a lot closer than it's resulted. It looks like might be a couple of weeks, but I just got to wait and see.
So you've got ligament damage in the ankle, and you were man of the match in the Anzac Day test the other night playing for Australia. So a couple of weeks, and well, what do you think of the performance on Friday night?
Oh, it was fantastic. You know, we had a great crowd, both from New Zealand's point of view and Australia, and it was just a great feeling. It was my first test on Australian soil, and I was really looking forward to it.
Well, one try there that we can see now, and that was a great way to start your first home test. And the first try now. Let's have a look at the second one, mate. You must have thought it was Christmas.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to get over the first time. I just sort of seen a bit of a gap, and I went for it, and obviously it came off. And the second try was just backing up Alfie Langer, and that's the way it sort of resulted.
Well, congratulations on that great performance on Friday. Well, Gary Freeman is with me. Gary's been fairly critical of the Canberra Raiders tonight, especially the unforced errors. What do you think?
Yeah, just looking on it, Perth's doing a very good job in defence. They're bustling us out wide, and it just seems to be working at the moment. I think our main problem is our errors.
What about the kicking game from Stewart? And Daly scored 2 tries. Is that something that the boys did practice throughout the week?
Yeah, well, it's pretty obvious that Perth come up pretty hard on the outside and just leave that little gap behind the wingers, and it's been exposed twice.
What about Ricky Stewart? He's come off the field again with his good knee. Have got any information for us?
No, not at this stage, Gary, but I did see the incident, and I couldn't really tell what actually happened, but it obviously was his good knee, and I'm just hoping that he's able to hold out the game, because he is the key player for the Raiders.
Okay, well, David, I hope that the Raiders in your absence tonight can kick on and maintain that lead and pick up 2 valuable points and maybe move into the top 5 if they win by 10 points or more. And best of luck with that injury, mate. We want to see you back in the green machine in the near future.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Gary.
David Ferner joining us on Fox Sports. He's in fine form, and they're certainly missing him out there tonight, along with Luke DeVico and Bradley Clyde, who's under suspension. So the entertainment continues here at half-time. It is Canberra leading by 13 points to 10. We'll take another short break, and then we'll come back to see if the green machine can go all the way. I think it was just me. Just waiting for the teams to make their way back out onto Bruce Stadium in Canberra. Fine night here, but rather cold. We thought the Perth Reds would not be suited to that. But obviously out in the middle, there's plenty of heat being generated, and they're still in this match. I think they're still issuing the instructions. Must be difficult for him to all of a sudden find some form in recent weeks and then have to go into the match tonight with a bit of a new look forward pack.
Does look pretty relaxed though, the big fella, doesn't he?
Well, he's been through a lot. I guess at least they are leading at half-time. Earlier on in the first 4 rounds, when they dropped 4 in a row, they were almost beaten at half-time in some of those matches. Ricky Stewart, the chance of him coming back out?
Yeah, I don't know if Ricky will actually rejoin in the next 40 minutes. He's got a medial strain in the good leg, you might say. I think he could be out for about 2 weeks.
Well, that is a problem for Ricky Stewart, playing into form with the New South Wales Tri-Series team to be named, in the next week or so, and Greg Alexander is already out, so there was a chance for Stewart to get back into representative football. It may not be the case now because of the injury. So the Reds, led out by their halfback, Matthew Rodwell. Chapman on screen now has been pretty busy in the hooking and dummy half role. Laurie Daly will take over the captaincy in the absence of Ricky Stewart. Let's have another look at that incident. It happened in goal. It came from a kick by Chapman. Stewart had to turn rather quickly and get back to pick it up. He looks to be okay there. Looking at his right knee, he went down on it there, and that was the problem. It wasn't the same after that. He left the field for a period, came back onto the field, threw the loose pass that resulted in the intercept try for Jared Miller, and then was forced to leave the field, and we suspect that it will be permanently. We'll get a report from the Canberra dressing room before too long. So the Raiders not in any hurry to get back out there. The Reds already out in the field waiting.
Well, they are pretty keen, even the referee's not out there yet.
Laurie Daly, the Australian captain, now calling the shots for Canberra in the second half. Quentin Pongia looks okay, so does Ruben Wiki. 3 of the 4 internationals from Canberra backing up from last Friday night. The other one is Kenny Nagas, and he really hasn't had too many opportunities. Will we see this man here, Nagas, explode into the back line in the second 40? Mullins already has a try, so he's getting back to his best. He certainly hasn't lost any speed after that layoff.
The big thing with Canberra, though, to see those sorts of players out in the open, the forwards have got to go forward and make some good yardage. But again, their mistake rate, they've got to cut that out and control the ball and then get a good kicking game in at the same time. There's one player that will go forward is Quentin Pongia, played against Strong, like we said Friday night, had a great test match, on the losing side.
So Stephen Clark ready to signal time on for the second half. And the big question now is whether or not this Canberra forward pack can get some cohesion. Good hit up here by Pongia, and they need plenty of that because in the hit up statistics, you see that Perth have made 62 compared to Canberra's 45. Nobody doing the hard yards at the moment for Canberra. They need to lay the platform. They have a classy back line. 5 from halfway. The Raiders and their assistant coach is Craig Bellamy, and Craig joins us now on Fox Sport. Well, there were quite a few errors in that first half, uncharacteristic if you look at Canberra's form in recent weeks. Craig, disappointed with that?
Obviously, it was a major concern in the first half, our errors, and obviously some of that come from the Reds' excellent up-in-your-face defence, so we're having a little bit of trouble handling that, but hopefully we might sort out at half-time and we'll be better in the second half.
What's the story with Ricky Stewart?
He's got a strain of his medial ligament. He won't be back in the second half.
All right, so a makeshift forward pack there, and they lack a little bit of cohesion, don't they? I guess that's understandable.
Yeah, obviously we've got a few younger guys up in reserve grade, and they haven't played with some of the first graders before, so we are lacking a little bit of combination there, but they've been trying very hard, and I'm sure they'll do the same in the second half.
Must be pretty happy with their kicking game, though. It's resulted in a couple of tries.
Yeah, Gary, that was an area that we picked out. We might have some success there, and it's proven that way in the first half, and hopefully we can have some success again in the second half.
Okay, Craig, thanks for joining us, mate. Best of luck in the second 40. Craig Bellamy, the assistant coach for the Canberra Raiders. The Perth Reds were down and out for a little while in that first half. At one stage, the Raiders led 12-4, but to their credit, they came back, and Nagas, rather casual back in the in goal. He's not going to get out of there. Well, that's a good chase by the Perth Reds, putting a lot of pressure on Ken Nagas after that kick. Well, he looked a little lethargic there, Nagas. I don't think he realised they were coming down so fast.
He certainly didn't, but no one really did get back to help him anyway. A great chase there by Fleming. Put him down. Paul Bell, I should say. Put a lot of pressure on Nagas. When he turned, there was about 4 or 5 of them in front.
So it'll be Laurie Daly with the restart. Let's get some Information now from the Perth camp, and Steve Rogers joins us. Steve, are you pretty happy with that first 40?
Yeah, overall we're we're very happy with the way the boys have gone so far. They have to maintain that enthusiasm obviously for the next 40 minutes to get a result, but on the first 40, yeah, we're very pleased.
Yeah, enthusiasm, I think, is the one thing that is going to win the game today. I think if you can out-enthuse their forwards, which you've done, I reckon, in the first 40, even though you are behind the scoreboard, then you'll come up with a win maybe here.
Gary, I couldn't agree more. I thought our guys were great. The young guys that we've thrown in have all put their hand up and doing a great job. As you say, the enthusiasm was certainly there for the first 40. A couple of very well-judged kicks, was the difference. But that's the price you pay for up and in defence, I suppose.
Well, hang in there, Steve, and we'll have a look at the Reds' onslaught now. They're only a couple of metres out. Best of luck to you, Steve, for the second half. It's been a long way from the whacker. Maybe you're in it with a chance of picking up 2 valuable points and staying in the top 5 here.
Yeah, let's hope so.
But it is the Raiders who come up with the football now. And Nagus about 20 out from the Canberra line. One of the youngsters talking about promoted to first grade. That's David Atkins, and now Pongia and Kennedy. Players like Pongia and Kennedy are the stars of this pack tonight. They really have to go forward. The penalty goes to the Raiders.
It's again holding onto the ball. I think he might have milked the penalty here, did young Kennedy. Lucky to get away with that one, I think.
6-4, the penalties to Canberra. Good field position early in the second half. Prittis. Burnham to Daly. Kennedy out wide. Perth came up in one line and shut the movement down. Here's another penalty, and it's right in front. They want to keep the momentum going. Kennedy! Kennedy with the step. Oh, tried to offload back on the inside, and he's coughed up the football. A let-off for the Perth Reds there. With another 5 tackles, the Raiders were certainly going to be on the rampage, but the Reds come away with it. Barry John Mather is on there, the Great Britain international, and he's about 12 from halfway, and there's the replay, and oh, Kennedy tried to force the pass.
I don't know if he tried to force the pass there, Greg. I think he got knocked out by a great tackle coming over the top, and Fritz knocked the ball clean out of his grasp. Like you said, Canberra right on attack, and now the Reds, they're on attack.
They get the penalty here.
One thing
here that Julian O'Neill's not feeling all that well tonight either.
Well, not being a doctor, I don't know what's wrong with him.
The word is that he's on the sideline with a calf injury. Big defence there. Who was it? You guessed it, Quentin Pongia. Came after a pass went forward. Pongia didn't mind. He lined up Lewis. There it is there. So Julian O'Neill has been replaced. He'll take no further part in this match. Permanent replacement on there for Julian O'Neill. Wiki will play it. 8-7 the errors. What's going on here?
Thanks, Macca. Hand on the ball.
Hand on the ball there in the play the ball area. The penalty goes to Canberra.
See the players here say, watch the replay. I think Laurie Daly, he's had Ruben Wiki and lost the ball.
Well,
and that judgment came from the touchy.
Well, I tell you, a little bit of luck there for the Canberra Raiders.
Laurie Daly saying, look at the replay. I don't think you want to see that one.
Pongia, good hit up. About 8 inside Perth territory. Wolford got the pass out to Lightning. That was forward. Good call, Stephen Clark. He was right on the spot. Royston Lightning thought he was away. Another look at it here.
That's a great little ball here. It's about half a metre in forward. Good work by Stephen Clark in that position. See the penalties. Canberra 8, Reds 6.
13-10. 32 and a half to go. Plenty of time. Chapman. This is Green. Possession, Perth's favour, 54%. Time in their own half, Canberra, 60% in their own 50. Here's another penalty to Canberra. It's a penalty-a-thon at the moment.
Really just stopping the game, isn't it? Any ball flow at all. Players aren't getting any sort of rhythm.
Well, this game is here for the taking. The first team to settle down might get away with it. Pongia. 28 out from the line. Burnham. The inside pass. Atkins. Wolford a dummy half to Burnham. Oh, a shocker.
Thanks, mate.
Well, Jason Burnham disappointed with his efforts there.
Yeah,
he had passed the ball before he caught it.
It can happen to the best of us. You see something, just let it go out of your hands. That's a let-off for the Reds.
And another error alongside Canberra's name. Rodwell. Fleming plays it. Horan. The inside pass to Miller. Driven back in the tackle by Daly, 10 from halfway. Lewis. Shields. Held up. Rodwell. The kick. Came off a Canberra Raider. And into touch. Did the Raider play at it?
Canberra feet loose.
Look at it here, Gary. The word is that Mullins didn't play at that ball.
Yeah, he didn't play at the ball. You just see, it's just gone out of shot now. Rodwell goes across, dives on it, then gets taken out. Leaves Canberra with a feed.
Nagus. Taken by Horan and also Bell. To the short side. Kennedy. 5 from halfway. Oh, the referee's got someone for a high shot.
Out you come, out you come. Don't you go anywhere either. Mate, too high, all right? Okay, just keep them down, okay? You know it was too high. He knows it was too high. Mate, every time there's a penalty, you're out here complaining about something. I don't mind you asking when it's a legitimate ask, but not every time there's a penalty, all right? Every time there's a penalty, you come out and ask.
Bit of a dressing down there for the Perth Reds captain.
He just gets him around the throat there, there's Trivet. Gives away another penalty. Just put Canberra right on the attack now.
So it's Pongia. The crowd starting to put a bit of life going at the moment. They've been pretty quiet for most of the match. About 12 out from the line. 13 points to 10. It's the Raiders over the Reds as Prittis waits for it at dummy half. Burnham, the inside pass. Perth under a lot of pressure now. Canberra looking to be the first to put points on the board in the second half. Wiki getting very close.
Great defence there for Edgar. That's terrific.
Prittis a dummy half. Daly. There's the bomb again. Mullins is out there lurking. He got his hands to it, but he couldn't control it, and Barry John Mather comes up with it. So it's the Perth Reds inside their own red zone, and Fleming has it.
Reds doing a great job there, getting around and covering each other. Someone went up with the ball and the others come back for just watch this. They knock it back. And Mullins knocks it forward. Barry John Mather just picks it up and takes the tackle.
Chapman taken by a replacement on there, Tim Van Dalen, 33 for the Raiders. That's the halfway mark. Good take by Lightning. Slipped under the tackle there. 30 out from his own line. Wiki. Burnham in the halfback pivot role now that Ricky Stewart will take no further part in the match. Painted at the inside pass. 16 is Boyle. Again, another high shot.
Right, that's two. That's two in a row. That's two in a row. I'm going to put this one on report for them to have a look at, all right? That tackle's on report. Number 25.
Really Trevitt. Two in a row, as the referee said, so it's on report.
They're just going a fraction high there again. Coming out of the dummy half mark area, did Trevitt come across. Better off if he could have gone a little bit lower. He has added a bit of spark into the forwards, though.
Now it's the Raiders again. Prittis. Wolford at dummy half. Inside pass to Payton. Working to the right side, Burnham. Oh, there's another. Well, looked a little bit high, but the referee says no, it was around the chest, and it was a good one because it jarred the ball loose.
Jared Miller, what a great tackle. There's some big defence out there now. Watch this, he just goes to the man. Boom, that's a great tackle.
So Trevitt.
He's played well. Scored a good try on the opening half.
Rodball. Found some open spaces. Nagus getting back. 5 out from his own line. The chasers are there. And he'll play it. Lightning. Good meters around the ruck. The crowd roars every time the young man gets the ball. He's electrifying.
I'd like to see him in a bit of open space. Well, the crowd are booing about. They think that the Western Reds are jumping up there too quickly. You play that up in the defence, you've got to get back and get up as quick as you can. Not many sides play it.
Daly. Kick over the top. The chase, the bounce is good for Daly. Daly, has he got the speed to get away? No, he fires it over on the far side, and David Boyle will score. A little bit of individual brilliance from the Australian captain, Laurie Daly. Drew the fullback. David Boyle was on hand. 17 points to 10. The Raiders are in again.
Once again, you see Daly just chipping over the top and regathering. Just gets outside Mather. Great little ball there. Boyle, go over. Let's just really just turn the game right around now. Once again, the Reds' defence, you just see him chipping in. The wingers have dropped back. The players haven't come up to cover. He's taken the experience of Daly there once again for the Canberra Raiders. I think they'll get out of jail now. 20-odd minutes to go in the game.
And that's very good work by David Boyle to get there in support. Only his second game back from injury. Laurie Daly, I think you could never accuse him of being selfish. I think he could have scored that himself because Mather fell off the tackle in the end. But Daly played it safe, fired it out to the unmarked Boyle. 100% for Royston Lightning. He's about 10 metres to the right of the uprights.
The Reds players then, well, Daly was going to put the big up and under up. He just decided to drop back, not move up and take him.
Young man full of concentration. It's there. So 9 points the difference now. There's the spark the Raiders needed to go on with it. 19 points to 10. Another look at it here. The youngster watching at home, that's how you do it. The kick and the chase got a beautiful bounce. You don't do that by chance. It's a practice move.
See Daly saying go underneath the post. Get closer.
So the Raiders kick off. And the Reds down and out. Well, not yet. 22 minutes remaining. We saw the Adelaide Rams yesterday grind Penrith into the park and come away with an upset win. The short side they go, Fritz. The Reds have coughed it up.
Just making mistakes only with the ball in the hand. They're trying to get Canberra on the short side.
Tim Van Dalen plays at tackles, 187. Canberra have had to make compared to Perth, 172. Missed tackles, well, that statistic is not quite even at the moment, but looking a bit better for Canberra. So Perth not too happy with the decision here. He was knocked back there by Ruben Wiki, and in the end, Bell knocked it on.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed with that. He should have just gone down on the ball, and they would have had 6 tackles. But now they give the ball straight back to Canberra.
That's it.
Now it's Daly. Wiki. Nagus. Todd Payton on there for the Raiders, replacing Pongia. Knock back play on. Lucky escape for the Raiders there. 30 metres out from the Reds line. This is Van Dalen.
Great run by the young bloke.
Daly slips over but still got the pass away to Wiki. Daly looks for another one-pointer, and he's nailed it. So he's satisfied with another 1 point, his second field goal for the match. That's now a 10-point lead. Laurie Daly has got the radar working tonight.
Certainly has got the radar working tonight. And that's a great point too, they'll take. Puts them nearly 10 points in front. Laurie Daly setting up the try, then just taking the 1 point. Just settle his side down with the young guys. Have to get down there and put a big set of 6 on here in defence.
If they can win by 10 points or more tonight, the Raiders should be able to overtake Adelaide and move into the top 5 for the first time in 1997. A real turnaround from their disastrous start when they lost 4 in a row. So 10 points is the gap now. They need to go on with it. This is Green. Taking a bit of stopping too, Brett Green.
Yeah, Green. And of course, Higgins have done a good job up the middle. Certainly do miss Howe though.
Shields. Off the side of the boot and into touch on the fall. So Dean Lance, the coach, very vocal at the moment, not happy with that. The side, after looking pretty good just before half-time, just losing their way a little bit at the moment. And Lightning taking plenty of stopping. Great run by Royston. Lightning 20 metres out from the line, giving Canberra the go forward now. Ruben Wiki, he carries it on inside the red zone. From dummy half, it's Prentice. Almost over the line. Burrowing run by the hooker. All of a sudden, from that mistake by the Reds, it's now the Raiders trying to work something out here. Kennedy got it out to Nagus. He has to cut back in field, turning in the tackle, and the cover gets across there to stop the movement, but only just. Lightning again, who started it all at dummy half. Wasn't a great pass to Daly, though. They were going nowhere on that occasion. Van Dalen at dummy half. Back it goes to Wiki. Daly, lack of communication there, so Daly tries to run it. Back to Kennedy. Kennedy gets it over to Burnham. Burnham out of one. There's unmarked players over on the far side. It was flipped over the top by Mullins. Now they're still alive. It came off a Reds player, but he didn't play at it. A comedy of errors over there, and it all comes to nothing. The Reds come away with it, but at one stage there, they look to be shot to pieces. The Reds, how did they get out of that, Gary?
I don't know how they did get out of that, but some good defence here. All the players going up and trying to attack the ball carrier. Well, the kicks were going to go in. There was passes going all over the place.
So Canberra leading time of possession, 52%.
Going back to that, Greg. Laurie Daly injecting himself, running the ball on the last tackle. Plenty of backup from Kennedy.
I think the reason he ran the ball was the fact that he didn't receive it at first receiver. There was a lack of communication at dummy half. Still 10 points in it, 20-10. And Kearns, 5 from halfway. Rodwell wanting to get out of his own half, and why not? And that's a great kick. Ended touch about a metre from the corner flag. So a minute ago, they were defending grimly on their own try line. Now they're 10 metres out. They won't get the feed into the scrum, but this is where Perth have to try to force the error on Canberra.
Yeah, they've certainly got to try and force something. They've got to spread on the field. They're getting a little bit too bunched around that ruck area. The only option he's really got is Rodwell is he has to kick the ball. There's no other options out there for him. He can't pass it because there's no back line, no one any position to receive the ball.
Perth will have to really be very watchful now, because if you look at the line breaks, Canberra have made 11 compared to Perth 6. So they're falling off a few vital tackles now, Perth. Not out of this match yet, but they can't afford to allow the Raiders to score next. They need to pin the green machine inside their own half. Prentice. Well, what's going to happen here? He's got Trevette for a high tackle, the third one this half.
Off you go. That's 3. That's 3.
Peter Trevette has been given his marching orders. The Perth Reds are down to 12. Trudging off to have an early shower. Let's have a look at it here. He's already received 2 warnings. They've got him again for a third shot, a high shot at that.
It's a high shot, but really, I don't think he needed to be sent off. He should have done something with the reporting the incident again. Leave the player on there. The other player got up and played the ball straight away.
Anyway, Canberra were unable to make the most of that opportunity because they lost the ball on the first tackle. Sometimes when teams have a player sent from the field, it can spur them on a bit, fire them up. To the short side they go. Rodwell, they've got another penalty. The Raiders inside the 10, so they're playing into the Perth Reds' hands at the moment. Horan finds touch over on the far side. Great field position now for the Perth Reds. Horan having a go on his own, almost through. Dragged down by Payton, right in front of the uprights. Options either side, but early in the tackle count. They don't need to do anything silly at this stage. Higgins is there. He's held up 10 metres out. In a while since they've put this sort of pressure on the Canberra defensive line.
Well, they'll be trying to go the inside pass all day long. I think they should go a little bit wider.
So Green will play it. To the left they go. The kick in behind the line. It came off the legs of a Canberra Raider, and they come up with it. The Reds come up empty-handed. Now the Raiders have to run it out of their own half.
They're disappointed with that little kick there. Laurie Daly once again stopping the ball, then diving on it. Great effort by Daly.
Pongi up. Pedestrian stuff at the moment. They're just working their way towards the halfway line. There's the kick. Over the head of the replacement player. That's Tristan Brady-Smith in 51. Played centre and reserve. Grady's at fullback at the moment with no Julian O'Neill on there. Barry John Mather. Edgar. Good strong run by the winger. That's the halfway mark. Rodwell the double round with his 5'8". Oh, Ruben Wiki read that one pretty well, though Bell was going nowhere. Penalty, though.
Call 3, you went on with it.
Just holding on too long there, Ruben Wiki.
You see Bell gets absolutely smashed here by Ruben Wiki. And then Bell says, well, let me play the ball. He stands in, you can see him talking to the referee. And Ruben just goes on with the tackle and gives away the penalty.
This way. Get him off! Get him off!
Chapman. A hooker has been replaced. And Robbie Kearns is coming on. Chapman's had a busy game. Receiving some attention to the head there. So Kearns is a dummy half. Another opportunity for the Reds. Kearns still a dummy half. Rodwell with the dummy. To the right, Tim Horan, the inside pass. No way through there though. The gap soon closed. To the short side, Rodwell backs himself. He's about 1 metre out on the final tackle. Back it goes to Horan. Horan with the Bombers, not a bad one. The chasers are coming through, but it's been picked up by Daly. Daly in the clear. Who's with him? Nagus. Mullins looming up on the inside. Mullins, he's away from everybody. They're not going to stop him. Oh, they're so dangerous in broken play, aren't they, the Raiders? And the old team worked a bit of magic. Daly on to Mullins. If Mullins was tackled, he still had Nagus there. They wouldn't have caught him either.
No, they wouldn't have. But great work by Daly once again. Well, the Reds are going to come up with a try. Daly just gets that ball away, brushes away a couple of tacklers, and finds Mullins backing up as usual. Ball being kicked up there. It's a great kick. Just goes forward off Barry John Mather. Daly just getting away from Millard. They did well to try and hang off him. Once Mullins got some open space, we'll see you later. And like you said, Nagus was there too. I think he was just jogging.
So Mullins, for the second week in a row, gets the double. He's back in top form, the flyer. Timely try that one for the Raiders, and it's 24 points to 10.
That's really been the difference, isn't it? Mullins and, of course, Daly. Mel will be a lot more happier now. Just under 10 minutes to go in the game. 24-10. Pretty pleased with the way the top-line players have performed tonight.
Mel will be thinking that this game's getting easier.
Problem is, you've got to line up next week too.
So Lightning. It'll be much easier for a goal kicker either, right in front. There it is, another two. 16 points the difference now, 26 to 10 inside the last 10 minutes. So what have the guys from Perth got up their sleeve? They'll have to certainly get their defence in order. They can't afford to fall off tackles like that. Really, Daly should have been claimed. Mullins should have been claimed. It's history now. He wasn't, and that could have been the winning of the match. So Laurie Daly gets a breather after the Anzac Day test when he led his country.
He's led this side well too since Ricky Stewart went off injured. He really has taken control of the game. He's really been the player that's turned the whole thing right around for them.
And a little knock on in there by the Perth Reds, so it's all going wrong for the men from the Wacker. So it was Wiki that threw Horan into the ground. A lot of force in the tackle. The ball came loose. Errors. Canberra 13, Perth 10. Now it's the Raiders again. An opportunity here to really ram home the advantage. And it's Ruben Wiki, 20 out from the line. Prentice at dummy half. 35 is on there for the Raiders, and that's Darren Shaw. So quite a few youngsters getting a taste of big-time football tonight, and that will stand them in good stead in future weeks. 10 out from the line. The Raiders. They've kept Perth scoreless in the second half, and they've scored 2 tries. And here's another chance coming up here. They're over the line almost, trying to get the ball down. No, Prentice has just held up. They need to go to the right, Gary. There's no one out there. Quick hands the call. No, they put it into the boot and really putting it through the hands, and it could have been a try.
Well, certainly it should have been a try there. They were gone on the left-hand side there, the Reds. All Canberra had to do was just pass it. It's a crazy kick. Burnham goes to the line. He should have offloaded. Went to the we pan out there. One. There's about 3 or 4 of the Canberra Raiders out there.
Well, it's happened again. They've knocked the ball on again. And Kearns is going to get a breather. A couple of changes coming up. Well, that's an unforced error there by Miller. So again, Perth put themselves under all sorts of pressure. 26-10, the lead in favour of Canberra.
It's out, it's out, it's out.
Mullins looking for a hat-trick. He's the sort of player that can probably pull it off as well as the opposition defence tires. Walford, the inside pass to Kennedy. Kennedy got it away. The pass was forward though, just as they were heading for the try line. Kennedy. Call back, and Perth, as we have another look at it here. Obstruction, the call. So Gary Freeman, it looks like Canberra going to come up with the 2 valuable points, and who would have thought after that horrific start that after round 9 they'd be in the top 5.
Yeah, well, no one would have picked them to be in the top 5, that's for sure. But you know, they're a side that you can't underestimate, and they can score tries from anywhere, and they've proved today, and they come away with the vital wins too.
So the Perth Reds going forward still. Brett Green plays it. Kick over the top. Lightning has it. And he's taken 20 out from the Raiders line. Next week, Canberra have a tough one here at Bruce Stadium, taking on the Cronulla Sharks, who bounce back to form with their 26-0 win over Hunter on Saturday night, as another penalty goes to the Raiders. Perth will be pretty keen to get back to Western Australia. Another home game next week, and they take on Penrith. And no doubt the Raiders will be pretty keen to be at home against Cronulla, but Perth will really need to be on their game at home next week, because Penrith will be keen to bounce back after dropping 2 competition points, losing to the Adelaide Rams yesterday. Both sides are really going to have to sharpen up their discipline, because tonight we've had 22 penalties in 77 minutes of football. That is just too high Not only does it spoil the spectacle, it doesn't allow the teams to really get into rhythm. Van Dalen trying to get up. Eventually he got to play it. Priddis with the dummy. Wolford waits for the dummy half. Inside the last 3 minutes, 16 points the lead to the Raiders. They've got it well and truly sewn up, but they're getting themselves into good field position here for another onslaught. Burnham, quick hands. The kick by Mullins. He was kicking over on the far wing, but the bounce was not a good one. It beat everybody into touch. Another look at it here. Just kicking for his winger, David Boyle, but Boyle had no chance of getting to that one. Brett Mullins can afford a wry smile there. If you look at that scrum, there aren't too many of the regular first graders packing down for Canberra. Strong run by Barry John Mather, former Wigan player in the UK, has represented Great Britain. Shields has dropped the ball. Atkins comes away with it. So they give the Raiders another opportunity. Steal some handy metres from dummy half, and now they're 25 metres out. It's taking a bit of time to get to his feet. Ongia to Nagus up from fullback, looking to get a bit involved late in the match. They're standing with flat-footed. Now it's Burnham. He has to take the tackle, so they lost some metres on that occasion. Mullins at dummy half. Over to Shaw. Pongia. He's still full of running despite going through that test match on Anzac Day. Pops it out the back door. This is Wolford. They keep it alive. And they're only about 5 metres out again. Wolford at dummy half. Priddis. Over to Lightning. He dives across in the corner. He's delighted. Royston Lightning has the final say in the match as far as the try scoring goes. They had the numbers and they couldn't stop Lightning. He only had to dive across the line with no one in front of him. Another look at it here. Quick hands from Priddis. This was good work also from Wiki. He drew 3 of them in, held it up and got the pass away to Lightning, the 18-year-old, in for his second try in 1997. Kicked a few points tonight as well with the boot. This is good work by Wiki. Held it just long enough, got it out to Lightning, and there was no stopping him from there. How long has this been going on, says Royston Lightning? 18 years of age, full of confidence at the moment. And right on full time, he'll try and add the extra 2 from about a half a metre in from this broadcast touch. %100% tonight, but this will really test him. They needed to win by 10 or more to overtake Adelaide on the points table and sneak into the 5. The lead now is 20. It's 30-10. He's hooked it around to the left. No goal, but it doesn't matter. 4 from 5 for Royston Lightning. He scored a try as well. The Raiders scored 3 tries to none in the second half. The Perth Reds couldn't put on any points. They were pretty optimistic about their chances after the first 40. It wasn't to be. Full-time, Canberra 30 and Perth 10 after the Raiders led by 13-10 at half-time. Costly win, though, bearing in mind they started the match without David Ferner and Luke DeVico. And, of course, Bradley Clyde was out through suspension. They've also lost Ricky Stewart for maybe a couple of weeks with more knee damage, his right knee tonight. Mullins got a double. Back in top form, Brett Mullins, playing with a lot of confidence. Nagas wasn't his sparkling self tonight, looked a little flat after the test match. David Boyle scored his first try in 97, second game back after injury. The mascot puts the hands in the air. He knows it was a vital and an important win tonight. Ruben Wiki scored the first try, had a solid game in the centres. Let's go sideline now, and Gary Freeman is there with one of the Perth Reds.
Yeah, with me is Matthew Robble. Well, Matthew, you'd be a little bit disappointed with that result.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we copped it last week and we tried to turn things around this week, but they were too good. They got far quicker play the balls and allowed them to score a couple of real good tries off kicks. Rory Daly backed up from the test match and played sensation. When he's on fire, I think it's very difficult to beat Canberra.
What about Rodney Howe, the loss of him? Major?
Well, yeah, sure. He's our main go-forward player. He's been playing terrifically well. I don't know what the circumstances are. He may be out for the year or what, so we're going to do it tough without him. But, you know, we've got players like Robbie Kearns and Brett Green. Hopefully they can pull us through.
Yeah, I thought in the forward pack, I thought Kearns and Green were outstanding for you.
Yeah, sure. You know, they had a lot of responsibility with Howie being out. But we just didn't get the quicker play of the balls, and our attack sort of didn't flow. We probably missed Scott Wilson a little bit, who's a creative player, but you know, full credit to them.
All right, mate. All the best. I know it's going to be a long flight back to Perth, but you'll back up again next week, mate. Yeah,
sure. There's an industrial strike in actually, so we're stuck in here till Wednesday. So well, that's the way it goes. Anyway, thanks a lot.
All right, mate. All the best. Cheers.
Okay, so it will be a while before they get back to the Wacker to prepare for their round 10 match against Penrith. That will be a tough one. Full-time statistics, 30 points to 10, the all-important one. And errors down the bottom, they evened out towards the end. Penalties, Canberra picked up 13 compared to Perth's 9. And possession time in the end half, not much in that one. So really, it looked pretty good for Canberra. Looking at that, especially the scoreline. Let's go to the sideline again, and Gary Freeman is with the Australian captain.
Yeah, Laurie Daly is with me. Laurie, an outstanding performance to come away with that great win.
Yeah, it certainly was. We were, you know, had a lot of injuries before the game, and during the game there was a lot of blokes injured, so we toughed it out really well, and the young blokes played particularly well.
What about Royston Lightning? Didn't he have a great game?
He certainly did. He knows how to score a try, and he can kick goals, and you know, hopefully he'll learn from the start of the year. You know, he didn't put in at the start of the year, and we kept him in the lower grades, but he certainly worked his way up to first grade well.
Mel will be very happy.
Yeah, I think so. You know, that's I think 4 in a row now for us, so we're just going to keep going.
Mate, you're in the top 5 now. What happens? Where do you go from now?
Where we go from now, we probably have a drink tonight, mate, and get ourselves ready for Cronulla next week, because it'll be terribly hard against them guys.
Yeah. Mate, I thought you were outstanding tonight, but up front, I thought Quinton Ponga backing up from the test match, he was outstanding for you.
He certainly was, mate. He's probably played his best 2 games in the last 3 days. You know, he's outstanding in the test match and again for us tonight. And as you know, if your forwards are going forward, it makes the backs a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, that may make you look any better, mate, because you were sensational tonight, I thought. The way you set out that try for Mullins. Is it vintage Laurie Daly?
Well, mate, if it had been vintage, I think I would have ran the field, but I couldn't do that, mate. I was stuffed.
All right, mate, look, we'll let you go and enjoy a beer with the boys, and all the best for the upcoming games, mate. Cheers.
Thanks,
okay,
mate.
Pretty happy, Laurie Daly. Not quite 4 in a row, but it is win number 4 for them. 3 in a row now, and that's the first time they've strung 3 wins together in 1997. Next week they take on Cronulla. That's going to be a crackerjack game. Perth will be taking on the Penrith at the Wacker ground. So the crowd leaving, they'll be pretty happy with the win tonight. 13 points to 10 at halftime, and they scored 3 tries in the second half to run out winners by 30 points to 10. So it's the Raiders picking up 2 valuable points. We hope you've enjoyed all the action tonight, and on behalf of Gary Freeman and the rest of the Fox Sports team, this is Greg Clark wishing you all good night from the nation's capital.
Set been a Fox Sports production.
WCW's Uncensored.
No rules, just a match. Anything goes. Don't you imagine? Somebody get me out of here!
It's the WCW Uncensored, Tuesday, 7:30, Fox Sports. Every Wednesday night on Fox Sports, the Super League Show.
Good evening, I'm Cameron Williams.
A complete roundup of all the hits, thrills and tries from the latest round of the Super League. Covering all the action from every angle, as well as all the background facts and figures. Keeping you updated with the very latest from the hardest game around. The Super League Show, every Wednesday night, 7:30 on Fox Sports. NBL, Australia's ultimate basketball experience. See the game live on Fox Sports. The high-flying Sydney Kings are back at the Kingdome to take on the Townsville Suns. The NBL, Friday, 7:30 p.m, live and exclusive to Fox Sports. For Sunday night at a 6.5-hour live motorcycle marathon. Will Nick do it? Make it 3 in a row. Find out when we take you live to Jerez for the Spanish Grand Prix. From Donington, England, both races from round 3 of the Superbike World Championship. So rev it up. We're ready to go. Bikes don't get any better than this. The action begins 7 p.m. Sunday, exclusively live on Fox Sports. May and Fox
Sports plays your sports live. Rugby Union Super 12s exclusively live. Super League, Super Action, live. Motorsport, Australian First, 125, 250 and 500cc Grand Prix bikes. Indianapolis 500, Super Bikes, all live. Golf, the Aussies are charging. Exclusive live US PGA Tour. Tennis, ATP Tour, exclusively live. Basketball, NBL, live, WNBL. Boxing, big-time boxing, classic fights, live championship fights. And soccer, that special day in May. The eyes of the football world focus on Wembley. The FA Cup Final, live. The best of world sport. See it first on Fox Sports.